Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching Today I Found Out, and in the video today, we're looking at the people who want to become amputees. Just before we get started with today's video, I do want to say that it is brought to you by Glasses USA. Glasses USA cuts out the middleman and offers prescription glasses at up to 70% off retail. Shop online for prescription eyewear and get a great offer on your first pair by following the Glasses USA link in the description. You'll love it, or they'll give you your money back. More about Glasses USA later in today's video, but for now, let's just get on with it. Body Integrity Identity Disorder, or BIID, is a condition where a person feels an overwhelming desire to become an amputee. Some also consider it to include those who feel a desire to have some sort of other disability, like becoming paralyzed or deaf. In the case of those desiring to become amputees, the limb that they want to amputate is a healthy, functioning body part that they simply believe does not belong to them. Individuals with BIID tend to be very secretive about their condition, but it's estimated that there are several thousand people worldwide suffering from this. One of the first purported cases of something like BIID was recorded in a medical textbook from 1785. A man from England held a surgeon at gunpoint until the surgeon amputated his leg. The man believed that becoming an amputee would allow him to woo a woman who was also an amputee. There are also many other reports of conditions that bear a resemblance to BIID, with those individuals connecting a disability with sexual desire. For instance, one man did not feel satisfied in the bedroom unless he imagined being with a woman who walked with a limp. In recent years, after additional study of the disorder, the diagnosis of BIID has been clarified. While men and women with BIID occasionally report that they feel sexually aroused at the thought of becoming an amputee, it's usually only a secondary reason, if a reason at all, for the desire to remove an otherwise healthy body part. This is after the much more strong notion that the limb does not belong to their body. Oftentimes, they know to the centimeter where they would like the body part amputated. The medical community disagrees on the exact cause of body integrity identity disorder. The most prevalent hypothesis claims that BIID originates in the right parietal lobe of the brain, where the brain has a sort of mental map of the body, which lets the brain know the location of legs, arms, and other body parts. It's hypothesized that individuals with BIID have a variation in that part of their brain caused either by genetics or by injury, and that removes the limb from that mental map. Another hypothesis, and this one's not nearly as well accepted, is that a patient perhaps met and admired an amputee while young, and their desires are linked to wanting to be like that person. Whatever the case, for many BIID sufferers who did not become that way via head injury, the desire to become an amputee often starts in childhood. Since a relatively small number of people suffer from the disease worldwide, a standard treatment has yet to be devised by the medical community. Traditional treatments for other psychological disorders have shown to be largely ineffective in cases of BIID. That said, when BIID occurs after an injury to the brain which impacts the mental map, movement therapy with a therapist that specifically targets the alien body part has been at least moderately effective in some cases. However, the treatment which has so far proven to be the most effective is also the most controversial: surgery to amputate the limb. Those with BIID who undergo surgery often claim long-term satisfaction with the treatment. Of course, amputating a healthy body part is something few doctors are willing to do, and even those who would be willing are generally barred from doing so. Those medical professionals in favor of allowing the surgery rely on the argument of patient autonomy, or the ability of a patient to make their own decision. They argue that surgeons perform operations on healthy body parts all the time in the cases of cosmetic surgery and even during sexual reassignment surgery. They also sometimes take little to no time to determine if the surgery is in the patient's best interests from an outside perspective. It's simply up to the patient to decide for themselves. For the vast majority who can't get surgery to remove the offending appendage, many use wheelchairs, crutches, or braces while in the comfort and secrecy of their own home, and they live their lives as much as they can as if they were disabled. However, pretending to be an amputee fails to satisfy a number of those with BIID, and so they continue to explore surgery, sometimes finding less than reputable doctors. For instance, an elderly man, Philip Bondi from the United States, traveled to meet Dr. John Ronald Brown in Mexico for an operation to remove his leg. He paid Brown $10,000 to do it. After his leg was amputated, Brown sent him to stay at a nearby hotel while Bondi's leg healed. Unfortunately, Bondi ended up dying of gangrene shortly thereafter. For his part in the affair, the 77-year-old Brown ultimately was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. For others, they simply attempt the removal themselves, such as by placing an arm on the railroad track or using power tools. Indeed, they sometimes damage the limb to such an extent that a physician will be forced to amputate. And this damaging of a limb does come with significant risk. For instance, a Scottish woman packed dry ice around her legs in an attempt to cause enough damage to warrant amputation, but she failed to keep the ice on long enough to cause tissue damage due to the intense pain. This resulted in her having badly damaged legs, but not so bad that they needed to be removed. In another case, a man named Carl used 100 pounds of dry ice to do the deed successfully. He noted, "The first thing I did was I used a wooden flour scoop to scoop some granulated dry ice into the bucket. It filled the waste bucket with carbon dioxide gas, which was 79 degrees below zero. I spent the next 6 hours well packed in the dry ice, and then I'd add more dry ice to keep it topped off. I'd done all the thermodynamic calculations, the mass of tissue, how much heat you had to subtract from that tissue to achieve freezing temperatures, and I knew that after 6 hours I had certainly achieved more than enough to freeze the full thickness." Sure enough, that did the trick, and within a month doctors were forced to amputate Carl's legs. Unfortunately, Carl also had another limb that he felt didn't belong to him, and that would be his left hand. However, after extensive therapy, he was able to quell the urge and decided to keep it. Unfortunately, like another BIID sufferer stated, it's not all sunshine and lollipops after the amputation, saying, "Having my leg off would cause a handicap and suffering, but BIID also causes handicap and suffering, and it's just a matter of which is worse." Another stated, "It wasn't so much that I wanted to be an amputee, as much as I just felt like I was not supposed to have my legs." For Carl, at certain times, he wishes he'd just stuck with suffering from BIID rather than missing out on walking on a beach or the like. He stated, "It's all those little things like that. What the hell was I thinking?" So I hope you enjoyed that video. Now it's time for me to tell you about Glasses USA. As you know, I do wear glasses, and a couple of months ago, Glasses USA hooked me up with a bunch of new pairs of glasses. My old ones were really past it, and they've turned out great. This pair I've been wearing for a couple of months now is called the Muse Classic. It's become my daily wearer, but I also have a couple of others. This pair is called the Elliot, and then there's these, which match my old pair of glasses but are totally matte on the side so I don't get any reflections, which is really important to me because it can make the green screen weird, but probably less important to you. But there are a whole bunch of different colors and styles that you can choose from, like matte. In fact, there are 4,000 different options. And hey, there's also designer sunglasses, like these Ray-Bans. Now, you might be worried about not being able to try them on, but fear not, they have a virtual mirror that helps you try on pairs from the comfort of your own home. I was a little bit skeptical of this technology because I've previously gone and tried on all the glasses I bought, but it turned out great. All the glasses fit perfectly, and I think they look good. Look, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Glasses USA is super affordable because they cut out the middleman and give you prescription sunglasses at 70% off retail, and frames and lenses start at just $30. Plus, it's all super high quality lenses. They are every bit as good as my old overpriced ones. And if you are not happy, just send it back, 100% money back guarantee. So with Glasses USA, it doesn't really make sense to do glasses any other way. You can check them out through the link in the description below and get a special deal on your first pair. Thanks to Glasses USA for the sponsorship, the cool glasses, and thank you for watching.